Well, I'm going to just dive right into one of the first questions or first comments on the show because it's actually a good question and I think it's a good starting point. And it comes from DC. And DC says, my separated wife is sending friendly email messages to my family, including a family newsletter with lots of photos of her and the kids. He goes on to say she also sent a sympathetic message about needing to find new cooking pans and an iron now that she no longer has these things since I took them. And then he continues to say, "How should I respond?" No, you shouldn't. Should I ask my family not to respond? Uh, yeah, that's not a bad idea. The problem is that a toxic person. Well, we'll assume for a moment that that's what we're talking about. You know, they're trying to turn. They're trying to recruit. They're trying to recruit the flying monkeys and the allies to help them in this battle to show that you are a horrible person. I mean, how dare you take those pots and pans? Which actually brings me up to another comment. Or not a comment, but another thing that I think is important to mention, important to remind people. It doesn't matter what you do, you will always be wrong. I get this comment or question a lot where people will say, you know, I did this, and now they're really mad, and they did something. I even had that for me. At one point, I had somebody, my mom actually, way back when, who it's like, oh well, I did something. Let me think of the details. If I remember correctly, I had said in the initial, when we were trying to work out the initial plan, I mean, this is like, first month of this catastrophe. And I had said, hey, if the kids' grades start falling, then that would be a switch in custody. They would spend the majority of time with me. And I was told, that's what set her off. All this stuff happened because you said that. It doesn't. Guys, it doesn't matter what you do. I mean, now, if you do something that they can latch onto and use as a point to show that their anger or their reaction makes sense, oh, absolutely they're going to use it. But here's the thing. If you do nothing wrong, they're going to do the same thing. So just keep that in mind. I mean, that's why you always have to make the best decisions that you can make for yourself. And always with the little thought in your mind that most of the time we are presented with double binds, which means that no matter what you do, there's going to be a pitfall to that decision. Typically there is not a situation where you sit there and you go, I have option A and I have option B. And option B is a wonderful, just perfect solution. It'll make me happy. It'll make the kids happy. It'll make the ex happy. Everything will be great. I'm curious, anybody listening to this show, if you've run into a situation where you did have that, where you did have the perfect solution, that you were not in a double bind. Maybe it was a double bind with a third solution that fixed everything. I would love to hear about that. My guess is I probably won't get any responses, though it would be interesting to see if there was. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Break the Cycle with DSD podcast. I do this show live every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to catch a full show, tune into this channel, subscribe, and hit the like button. Or you can find the podcast version on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or your other favorite podcast directories. Hope to see you on the next show.